Hi friends, good morning. Makané here, and I'm doing our tarot. This is for the cusp of the new moon, and it's all about what we risk, what we dare, and what we lose and gain. So there's a love portal that's open in the moment. I have been informed by the astrological community, and it's a really powerful time to do inner work of the kind where you're digging deep into your flaws and mistakes in a way that is surrounding you with love and with the energy of ready to transform, ready to go in with eyes open and almost like a surgeon, but not to remove anything, but just to like put something in the back in the right place. Like the part of you that you thought you had to shun and get rid of just needs to be embraced and integrated in a new way. So like understanding that the consciousness that it arose from was limited and flawed and dealt with maybe some sort of trauma, abuse, or a hateful message toward you or another. And so like whatever that arose from was a limited consciousness. So coming in now with fuller consciousness to say, hey, now I understand the root of that action, and I understand why, or at least partly that I responded in a bad way because I had bad information, or I responded in a bad way because I was emotionally tormented, or I didn't have resources and tools that are now available to me. So continuing to build your resources and tools that will serve you in this act of healing and forgiveness. And I recommend a practice that centers you in serenity, a practice that centers you in stillness and quiet. And if this is difficult for you, it may mean, turning up your heavy metal really, really loud and screaming it out. Like sometimes that is almost a form of cathartic meditation when we can't get still and quiet. Like I remember being a teenager, and like if you told me to meditate, I would have laughed in your face. But like in my 20s, I was like, oh, this is totally a rad thing that I can do. But yeah, it was totally about just turning up the nirvana and feeling the feelings, and then letting that kind of like work its way out that way. So yeah, whatever gets you to a place of inner reservoir of stillness, inner residues of placidity. Where do we find placidity? I find it in nature. I find it in like big long nature walks, or even just little moments of just like planting seeds in the garden. I got some like little new baby mantises that are in a terrarium. Just watching this is really fascinating and cool. So if you remember, I lost Carla, but there are more Carlas now. So always moving on ahead. So failure, this is about the past, and this is also about our emotional work. Like if we're focused entirely on what we can gain versus like what other people can gain, and we might say, well, how are they richer than me, smarter than me, better looking than me? How are they able to navigate these rough situations? How are they able to speak up for themselves, defend themselves, explain themselves so eloquently? And I feel like when I try to explain myself, I'm stumbling over like this like sense of insecurity, and then I feel even worse, or like maybe I just really need to suck it up and like find a more reliable source of income, but it's really working on my fears about being in the world, about this illness. And then I see someone else just like get in their car and drive to work like it's no big deal. So like realizing that like we're all starting from somewhere inside instead of comparing ourselves, like looking at what are your inner treasures, what are your strengths. Don't try to grab onto what isn't innately yours. Just like be with the you that is, however you see it. As maybe you see it as flawed, impoverished, or like there's like a lot of energy right now around difficulty accepting ourselves. And I think this will also have to do with like just like fears of the future, fears of not being accepted, embraced, fears of not being able to rise above convention and do what you really want to do, which may be a new sort of venture that your parents would be like, "Oh, what? You're gonna be a, I don't know, a lizard-shaped cookie baker?" That seems like a fail, you know. Like there are people out there who will 100% be excited about that. So just be the you that you know you got to be, because you can't be anyone else, and choosing yourself is going to yield inner riches and will basically save you from disappointment later. So just might as well. Why not, right? And then the idea of like forgiving past mistakes, like those are the true riches. So like everything that's fallen, everything that's tumbled and spilled, and like all the things you tried to hold on to and failed to, the old parts of you that you feel like died, like it's not just about grieving them, but rather letting them go, and just like, how can I peacefully not try to grab onto what is already lost anymore, but just open my hands to receive what is coming my way, because it wasn't meant for me, right? Like whatever was in the past that slipped away, walked away, turned away, shunned me, doesn't really embrace me, and I can't be anyone else. And I can hate on myself for the rest of my life, but like I can be like, oh wow, no one's gonna accept me for being genderqueer and also kind of like not out about it, or no one's going to accept me for being an artist that's not really a great artist, but just sort of like doing illustration. And like no one, I really want to be accepted by an artist as an artist, but I'm not fully there or something. Like just accept where you are, and that someone's going to love you, hold you close. Your friends, your future partners, your current partner are gonna embrace you for who you are, and that's all you need to get through this. So stop trying to hold on to what has fallen into shambles. So risk. This is about the moment. This is about risking self-love, risking walking on the wild side, because you know that's part of who you are, and stepping in a bigger way into you, and that's going to have so much momentum and success right now. And the new moon is a perfect invitation for stepping into deeper facets of identity, of change, of making new habits, but even more so now. So like getting a jump on Lent, where we're embracing the positive habits that are going to serve us. We're also embracing new things, trying new things that may become future facets of identity. I was like, I always wanted to try surfing, and I'm here in my living room in Pennsylvania, and it's a pandemic, but like, why not? I'm gonna look at a YouTube surfing class. I'm gonna get myself a balance board, and I'm just gonna say yes to this part of me that wants to embrace these wild waves, because there will be a time when I can fully do that. So, walking on the wild side. Okay, and your rewards for doing so are just what little star seeds are being sprinkled around, like the fact that you're weird, and the fact that you're struggling to find connection, like The fact that you do things like swing from a trapeze without really a good grip, like maybe maybe making other people worry, but like when you're fully and you're like, I know I've got this and I know I have this is just who I am and who I have to be. And that's been inside of you for so long, stifling it is what's going to be more risky. So that's speaking from my own experience, like whatever we're stuffing down is buried alive, and being numb is hella more dangerous than even being sad or despairing or any of it, because those are transient things. Those are emotions that run through us, empty us of all our belongings, our home, or whatever. But then they're gone, and then we can move on, and then we can rebuild. And if we're just stuffing that experience away and never allowing it to rear its ugly head, then we're just sort of slowly just never fully letting that exercise itself out. Does that make sense? So whatever you need to risk right now to hold on to who the core of who you are, because it's about this love portal. We're in this portal, and I think it's about a star. Like I actually do. Like this card is about a star, but I think the love portal is a star beaming through to us right now. So not really clear on which one, but for those of you who are from other planets, maybe you could tell me. Other astro people, astrological people, leave it in the comments. Truth. So this is ultimately, this is about your inner work. This is about stepping outside of yourself, starting to say yes to your heart. And this is about dealing with relating to others. Like this is about what actual actionable steps of things are you going to have to do? What's this going to look like? So truth, when everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking. Take me over and speak through me. So I really think the first time I read this card, it was like at a time of like social anxiety, and I was like freaking out about the fact that I was having difficulty in this friendship and I didn't know what to say. And then I was like, the card's telling me that I do know what to say. It's just I'm not allowing myself to speak from silence. I'm pushing myself to speak from fear. So when you feel that sense of pushing from fear to speak, like don't. Just like that's the time to walk away. That's the time to just like nope, just not going to answer that question, or just like that's none of your business, or I don't really feel like talking about that right now. And if you do feel like you can muster the courage in the moment, just simply pause, take your time, and like, you know what? I actually had to really finally choose what my heart has been telling me all along, and I follow my intuition, and it's just the way I live my life. Like your answer can just be like, boom, clear, simple, concise. It doesn't have to make sense to them, but it can just reflect your inner values in such a way that you're like, this is not negotiable for me, or this is who I am, and this is just my truth. Like sharing that is just it's an act of love ultimately when you can like be willing to show that you're courageous enough to show someone else something that they may not agree with to actually respect you more ultimately if they're meant to be in your life. And if they don't, if they criticize you for that, then they're not meant to be in your life, as far as like they're not meant to be privy to those intimate parts of you. And when they want to engage in conversation, it's just like the weather, or I've been drinking water lately, and keeping it short. And, we all know who those people are in our life. And we're all trying to like navigate relationships right now because they're suddenly more important, aren't they? And two ravens just flew by the window. So I'm going to take that as an omen that it's time for me to let you reflect on this, do some journaling, reflect on your relationships where you need to open up these channels of acceptance, past mistakes, forgiveness, walking on the wild side, embracing that part of you that other people might think is crazy, etc., etc., and then speaking from courageous silence. Please really just give it all. This is a full moon for like a really big portal, for a really big chance at redirecting our course. So yeah, really this is huge. Wanted to share that because I think we all have windows and portals all the time, but when a big one comes our way, like why not get a little risky with it? Okay, and watch Risky Business. That's not really, but like watch a movie that shows like someone really embracing this like crazy like energy of just like, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking go for it. Oh wow, there's a huge spider just crawling up my plant. So yeah, something wild. Maybe it's David Attenborough and like watching the wildness of nature. Nature is so freaking wild. Embracing our wildness in a way that is harmonizing with the earth. Also, this is a message from this card. There was a few lines in the bottom, words from Chief Seattle's speech. I know it's really hard to read. It says something about ancient. Oh gosh, I really can't read this. Ancient message? No, ancient men's. Medicine? Ancient medicine? And then I'm gonna go with, yeah, ancient medicine. Almost looks like under, but I'm not sure that is. So holding ourselves accountable that we don't abandon course with what the ancient wisdom is telling us is important to solidify in order to survive in the long run. So like the risk doesn't mean that, yes, I should spray these bugs on my lawn with pesticide. It's probably not going to hurt the butterflies. No, we're not saying that. We're saying please navigate with gentle empathy, awareness, and a higher view of just like, how can my actions ripple out positively, not just for me, but for the universe? Because like there is a huge love channel opening right now. That means your love can actually reach out so much farther than it normally can as well. So like loving yourself in order to step into fully into your power, transform what you really want to transform in the world. So that's the final message. Hope you have a wonderful day.